How can creators like us, who are new to building online businesses, who have high value skill sets, how do we scale our monthly recurring revenue, or MRR, to get us the freedom we desire? That is the question, and this newsletter will give you the answers. Be sure to subscribe if these are the types of answers you seek. My name is Boise Gordon, and welcome to episode 22 of Boise Talks Business. Episode 22. This common misstep will cost you immediate success. It happened to me. A conversation on avoiding the problem that plagues most entrepreneurs, even the advanced ones. Welcome. Just a quick upkeep announcement. I am doing these Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and it will be like this going forward until further notice. So if you were wondering where I was yesterday, that is why we changed the schedule, just to make it more sustainable for me, while also making sure that I'm not overloading you guys with content. I have so much to say, and I could do them daily, but once again, I want to make sure that everyone has the opportunity to, watch the next one before I publish. So giving you guys one day plus the weekend should be enough, hopefully. Anyway, in the last episode 21, I discussed building online authority. It's probably the most sought after thing for an online business or internet business outside of landing clients. All right, just having the ability to say something and people believe you. Many creators, myself included, try to grow authority first when we first, start our venture, get on social media. But half of the time we don't even know what that means. Like we're just like, yeah, I have to build authority, like I'm gonna get my followers up. Well, the truth is authority equals trust. That's all it means, right? And the other truth is that most of us come standard issue with authority, but we still choose to start from scratch because we like to assign authority to our follower count or our amount of likes we get on a post. But in reality, authority is just like your background. It's who you are. It's what you've done. It's what you know, right? So use your expertise and experience, not your following. Following authority is nice and it is necessary for distribution. And, obviously if you're comparing two people of similar, backgrounds and similar levels of expertise, that might be a tiebreaker. But in terms of like when you're starting out, you're not going to have competition right away, right? Because you're going to be so new, you're going to have a different offer. You're going to, so just start out by leveraging your experience, making sure you're talking from a place of I've been there and done this rather than I'm looking to try and do no, say it with your chest. All right. Now that that's over with, in today's episode, I want to discuss the first mistake that most entrepreneurs make. It's something that can ruin your business in the long run and prolong your success. And what is it? I've been hinting at it this whole time in the headline, the subtitle. Even now, I'm not really telling you. I'm just prolonging the process. But the thing is, lack of clarity. Lack of clarity can absolutely destroy your business. Literally will destroy your business if you don't have clarity. Most people tend to get clarity months into when they start, but it's something that can be done on the front end, and I do want to talk a little bit about my journey as well into getting it. Many entrepreneurs think they have a great idea, but refuse to refine it. They have this world-changing idea, but it's so vague in terms of how it's going to be actualized into a business that when they go to put it into motion, there's all these different moving parts that oftentimes work against each other. Right? They take a half step in the most important part of their business's journey, the start. This leads to counterproductive decision making, right? Like I said, you're trying to head in one direction, but you're having two separate systems pull you equally in the opposite directions, right? This causes contradictory behavior, and worst of all, a severe lack of results. If you have two things competing in the opposite directions, you have two separate systems working against each other. You're not going anywhere. Your momentum is stagnant, zero. And you can't achieve anything if those systems remain in place. So having the clarity right away certainly helps speed up the process that it takes to get to the successful point where you're starting to see a return on your efforts and hard work. The reason why a lot of people don't experience immediate success is because they don't have the clarity needed at the beginning and learn on the fly. Right? Rather than just studying it out and trying to figure it out immediately, then starting everything, building your systems up with a clear point of view. Right? So let's dig in. The problem for this, I'll tell you my most recent example. Normally I try to stick to my other business that I had started, a logistics brokerage. But I think the biggest example I can give of this being a problem is my journey to now, right? About 3 months ago when I started this business, and it's actually been a little longer than that. Started November, so 5 months, middle of November, so 5.5 months, right? About 5.5 months ago, when I started this business, I wanted it to be a business consultancy, just like it is now, right? I knew what I wanted to do at that point in time. I knew I wanted to help people, regular people, turn into entrepreneurs. I wanted to bring people through that journey that I had gone through to become an entrepreneur without having them do it on their own. I wanted to be that guiding force to help them build themselves up, right? So essentially, I wanted to help regular people convert into entrepreneurs. And I was going to offer my expertise to employees looking to become entrepreneurs, just like me. But there was a lot of problems with that because, one, the mindset of a regular employee isn't there, right? And two, how am I gonna find employees to reach out to that already want to do this? Like, it would have to be a build it and they come sort of situation. And because the only type of business that I had as far as experience wise was a go and get it situation, it was very hard for me to identify how I could make it work, right? So I started out marketing myself. That's why I started writing on Medium, marketing myself as a business consultant, right? And then I thought I needed to, dig down into a niche and like target the right people. So I was like, all right, so I swapped to an entrepreneurship consultant, right? Then I was like, you know what? Like, maybe this niche isn't the one. Maybe I need to go a step further, not just entrepreneurs, not just businesses, but startups. So I switched to startup consulting, right? Then 1 month into the journey, and I swapped my entire business model to personal branding consulting, right? And in that month, and by that time, I had now changed my packaging 4 times, probably more than that, to be honest. I was adding a bunch of modifiers to my package, like for introverts as one, or for work from home people, side hustle. Like, I was doing it all, right? So I changed my packaging over 4 times, and I changed my niche twice. Like, the entire business model, sorry, not the niche, but the entire business model. I changed it twice. And then I ended up changing it back to business consulting because that's what I'm doing now. But it didn't stop there. I'd spend the first 2 weeks of 2024 looking to redefine my niche again. Right? Kind of foreshadowed that one, my bad. But why, right? I didn't have the results, and I was frustrated. I was putting all this work daily. I was writing articles daily, and I had nothing to show for it after a couple of months. I also didn't know what I wanted or how to figure out what I wanted or what I should be doing to get what I wanted. I had no clarity. I had no clue. And I finally sat down, and it took me so long to do this, but I finally sat down in mid-February and decided on a direction and a strategy. I was like, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it this way. Boom, done. 3 days later, after I sat down and had that conversation with myself, I'm not crazy, I closed a client. Literally closed my first client 3 days after that. And I'm not going to go too far into like the process of me closing that client because it's pretty complex. But in terms of like, I just needed direction and a strategy. And it wasn't simple. I actually took away and removed a lot of the processes that I was thinking I needed, and did the bare minimums. Or not the bare minimums. I don't want to, minimize it. But I did what I felt was critical to the success of what I was trying to do. And the funny part, I still had no clue what my business was offering at the time. And that was, and that internal confusion caused me to misprice myself. I ended up closing that deal at a low ticket cost when I wasn't even trying to do anything in that space. I had to convert that client to my newer offer. And I wasn't going to charge them more, right? Because I was still kind of on the original deal. So here we are, right? I have 2 clients, but only one's really one's paying me. Like, the other one's kind of like, oh yeah, I'll go eat lunch once a week. But after continuing to work on it, I figured out the answer. Right? Like, I knew something had worked. I knew something I was doing was right. But there was something I was doing that was wrong because I didn't get the money that I wanted. Right? So the solution, Shortly after closing my first client, I signed up for a coaching program. I figured the experience would educate me on how similar businesses look on the inside, and give me some clues as to what I may be missing. Right. So from here, I began quickly absorbing all the coaching material that I was given. Did it daily for a week or two. I think I went through everything in a week. It was about like 24 hours of videos and 3-4 hours of writing. And I saw similarities between what I assumed I should do and, what I assumed I might have been doing wrong. But the biggest benefit, not biggest, but the bigger benefit came from the differences, the things that, I could do better and the things that I should emulate, right? Like trying to discern between those two things helped me build up what I have now. However, even with all that amazing data and all those amazing adjustments, I received something that I never thought I knew I needed. That's a weird, never thought I knew I needed. Didn't mean to say that, but whatever, we'll leave it in there. And that's right, clarity. I received clarity. Like the first call was about me going through my business, identifying what parts are, I don't really know, I haven't thought of that, and what parts are like, this is what I want to do. And when I realized that 7 out of the 10 parts were, I don't really know, I've never thought about that, I was like, man, I didn't do any of the thought work required to operate a business. No wonder I wasn't performing like I wanted to, right? So walking through my business with someone who had done it before showed me how confused I was about the entire thing. And that moment of light changed everything for me. I immediately took action. I swapped the X for a medium. Literally just that next day, swapped the X. Started this newsletter. Did it that same day. And then the next day I published the first one. I started to recreate my business offer. I scraped my whole offer and started over. Right. Then I removed the unnecessary parts of my funnel. Kind of what I did with I swapped the X, but I legit recreated my funnel to be a 3-part funnel. And then I added pieces back in here and there that I felt like could benefit it. But I've stripped everything down. And by removing all these bottlenecks, I created a sustainable business that I'm confident will succeed. Right. Like I'm not going overboard every day. And this moment finally showed me how I could best leverage my expertise to grow my business. I had all this business knowledge, yet I wasn't succeeding in the business. And it was because I hadn't properly acclimated to the environment I was actually, running my business with. My old business was not a brick and mortar. It was still work from home, but you make calls. You'd hit people up on LinkedIn. You'd go and visit offices. You're the one doing the work. Like you're putting in the work. With this business model, it's more like people come to you. People are attracted to you. I just sit here and make content. All right. Like that's it. I'm not sitting there making 1,000 calls a day anymore. And if I had known this business model back when I had my other business, sales would have been way easier. Just make articles all day. All right. And now I'm actually able to help others achieve that same level of clarity, fulfillment, and success because I've done it. I have a system. I've written it out. Like I understand what I did wrong, what I'm doing right, and I'm continuously refining it every day. And I'm seeing success with some of the clients I'm working with now. Like they're seeing progress, immediate progress. Right. So if you need help finding clarity, or would like to start landing clients as soon as possible, I have 2 slots open for Able up for grabs. Still 2 out of 4 slots. Just reply with scale if you're a part of the Substack newsletter. If you're interested. If you are on any of the other platforms, just send me an email at waitlist@boisegordon.com or send me a DM on Twitter. You can just type in Boise, Boysie, and maybe my name pops up. I don't know. But my @ is Boise Gordon, no space. P.S. I'm meeting with some businesses next week, businesses and people. So I doubt these slots will be open for long. So don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. Just let me know. I can get them squared away. And then, if this is something you want to pursue, we can talk about it there as well. Cool. Well, thank you so much for listening, tuning in. I hope I provided some form of value for you. This was a fun article to write. But yeah, don't let me stop you from enjoying your day. Thanks for stopping by.